Hello and welcome to another video by the Bearded Tech Guy. In this video, we will be taking a first look at the very recently released video doorbell by Amcrest. We will also be going over the installation and setup of the doorbell, and we will be taking a look at the app that goes along with it. While Amcrest was nice enough to send me a demo unit to check out, I will be giving my honest opinion on it, just like anything else I go over on this channel. There are a lot of features for this doorbell that I was not expecting at only a $120 price tag. With that said, I did run into a few challenges, and there are some things I would really like to see improved on, so make sure to watch the whole video so you can make your own decision if this doorbell is right for you or not. At the time of this recording, there is also a coupon available to save additional money on it, and I have a special promo code that can be applied to save an additional 10% off. So check out the description below for both a link to the video doorbell as well as the coupon code if you are interested in the video doorbell after this video. Using any of the Amazon links below to make a purchase will give the channel a small commission at no cost to you, and that money then goes right back into the channel for either better video production quality or new tech that I feature on this channel. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the video doorbell itself. The video doorbell features a 2 megapixel CMOS sensor with 1080p quality video, recording at 20 frames per second. It has a 140-degree viewing angle in both night vision and motion detection that is rated up to 16 feet. The doorbell supports both paid cloud storage plans, as well as has the ability to have local storage utilizing a microSD card up to 128 gigabytes. The doorbell is IP55 rated and supports two-way audio. Similar to other smart home devices, the Amcrest Smart Home Video Doorbell only supports 2.4 GHz wireless networks. This video doorbell supports an operating temperature between -22 degrees and 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside the box, you will find the doorbell itself, two different faceplates, a metal mounting bracket, a screwdriver for both installation as well as removal of the security screw for the doorbell, a masonry bit, a chime kit, instruction manuals, and an assortment of wires, wire nuts, and screws needed for installation. The only thing extra you would maybe need is a drill if you are installing into brick, or electrical tape if you are splicing wires. The mounting bracket used for the doorbell is actually made of metal and has 3 screw holes compared to the 2 that I usually see on doorbells. This will give a little extra hold to help keep the doorbell in place in the event someone tries to steal it. The doorbell itself is attached to the base plate with a hooking system on the top and is secured at the bottom with a security screw. If you do plan on getting this doorbell, or any video doorbell for that matter, make sure that the transformer you have is large enough to provide the required power. Having a transformer not large enough can cause any video doorbell to not function properly. If you plan on having more than one video doorbell, make sure to plan accordingly. The doorbell transformer can be typically found in a basement or attic, and they look like this. Let's now go over installation. The first step will be to install the Chime Kit. The Chime Kit allows for your doorbell to get the correct power needed and allows for it to be able to ring the doorbell. For this step, you'll need the Step 1 instruction manual, the Chime Kit itself, the included screwdriver, and the Chime Kit extension wires. To get started, locate the fuse or circuit that the doorbell system is on and turn off the power to it. If you want to make sure the power is off, you can use a multimeter to test for current or push the doorbell to see if it rings. Next, remove the cover of your doorbell chime. Then attach the wire harness to the kit. After that, attach the wires to the doorbell chime. To do this, unscrew the screws from the terminals slightly, and then place the wires from the Chime Kit harness onto the terminals. There is no specific wire to terminal requirement. Then tighten the screws down. Use the attached double-sided tape to attach to the chime. Make sure that all of the wires are out of the way for the mechanism that actually rings the doorbell. Once done, replace the lid. If you have a multi-doorbell configuration, I recommend reaching out to support for the correct setup. For my setup, I already have a power kit set up from a different doorbell that will be used alongside this one, so I will not actually be installing the Chime Kit. The next step is to remove the old doorbell and install the Amcrest Video Doorbell. For this section, you will need the Step 2 manual, the doorbell itself along with the back plate if removed, the silver faceplate if you plan to change it out, the 3 mounting screws, and the security screw and included screwdriver. Depending on your installation, you may also need the included wire coupler, wire nuts, wire extensions, drill, flathead drill bit or screwdriver, the included masonry drill bit, and wall anchors. To install the new doorbell, first make sure power is still off to the doorbell system. You can do this by trying to push the doorbell. If you have turned on power after installing a Chime Kit, do make sure you have turned power back off. Most older doorbells will be attached with 2 small flathead screws, but you can also run into Phillips head screws. Once removed, separate the wires from each other and leave the ends rounded if they already are. If you haven't done so, remove the mounting bracket from the back of the doorbell. Place the mounting bracket where you will be mounting, making sure the wires are run through the opening of the bracket. and then either use the included screws to attach it to your wall, or if needed, trace out where the holes will be and then use the included masonry bit with your drill to drill out the holes. Next, remove the faceplate from the doorbell. You will want to do this even if you do not plan on changing out the faceplate, as this will be a required step for setup as well as if you plan on installing a micro SD card. There are two little tabs on each side that are supposed to be separated and pushed away from the doorbell. I personally had a lot of trouble getting the faceplate off, and I was a little bit worried I was going to break it. I did finally manage to get it off with the help of a flathead screwdriver. Just like the Chime Kit, there is no specific wire to terminal connection. Depending on the length of your doorbell wire, you may have to attach the extensions to get some extra length. This was one of my first major problems I ran into. With the way the back of the doorbell is, there is very little room for wire nuts or couplers, so keep that in mind when considering installation. Attach each wire to the back of the doorbell and screw down the terminal. It should look something like this. Next, hook the top part of the doorbell onto the bracket and screw the bracket into the base of the doorbell using the included security screw. With everything in place, we can turn the power back on and set up the doorbell. Once power is restored, the doorbell will probably take a few minutes to actually power on and boot up. This is not clearly stated in the instructions, so I recommend waiting about 5 minutes on first power on before turning off power to see if something is wrong. If you haven't already downloaded the Smart Home app from Amcrest and created an account, you should do so now while you wait for the doorbell to finish booting. The doorbell will start flashing blue when it's ready for setup. To do this, open the Amcrest app and select Add Device. Next, scan the barcode on the bottom of the box or the barcode on the doorbell itself. Next, press the button on the side of the doorbell to activate pairing mode. Once you hear the voice from the doorbell, you can click on Next.
Wi-Fi hotspot is enabled.
Your phone will then try to automatically connect to the doorbell network. If it's not able to, you may have to manually connect. Once connected, you will be prompted to enter a password for the device, and you will be given the ability to set up a password recovery email account for the device. Once entered, press OK. Next, select the wireless network the doorbell will connect to. Keep in mind that it is not able to connect to 5 GHz networks, only 2.4 GHz networks, which is the case for pretty much all video doorbells currently. Enter the password for your network and click on Connect. Next, the doorbell will go through the configuration process. This can take a few minutes. The doorbell will turn solid blue once completed. If you run into issues, you can start the process over. Once the doorbell is ready, click on Next. You will then be able to rename the doorbell. After you save, you can set your time zone. And with that, your doorbell is now set up. The first thing I did after installation was update the firmware of the doorbell. To do this, click on the cog on the menu for the doorbell and select Firmware Update. You'll notice a red dot next to this option if the app sees an update is available. From here, you will see if an update is available along with enhancements for that update. Clicking Update will trigger the download process and update the doorbell. Depending on your internet speed, it can take several minutes for the update to download. Once pushed to the doorbell, it will go through the actual update process, which will take several minutes. One thing I don't like is the app will indicate the update process is completed after the update is pushed to the doorbell. This is however not true, and the doorbell will be unresponsive for a few minutes after this point. I recommend just closing the app and checking back in about 5 minutes. With the Amcrest Video Doorbell now running the latest firmware, let's check out the different features in the Smart Home app. On the main screen of the Video Doorbell, we will see a live view of the doorbell as well as several different options. The first option is multi-view. This allows for you to see multiple live views of different cameras if you have them set up in the app. Clicking single view brings you back to the Video Doorbell. The next option is Talk. This allows for you to talk through your mobile device with whoever is at your doorbell without actually having them push the doorbell. The Listen option next to Talk does the same thing, but allows for you to hear what's happening at the doorbell. You can have both the Talk and Listen option enabled at the same time, or you can have only one on. I was on a slower network at the time of the daytime recording, which made the Talk and Listen features take forever to load. So I did do it again later, just to demonstrate that both load pretty quickly. The next option is Full Screen. Just like it sounds, it will make the live view take up your whole screen in landscape mode. The next is Quality. You can use this button to switch between HD and SD quality for live feed. Next is Snapshot. This will take a picture of your current live view and save it to your phone. And finally is Record. This will record your live view feed to your micro SD card of the doorbell. Clicking on the cog at the right hand corner brings us to different settings for the doorbell. Clicking Device Information will bring you to a page that includes information about the model number, IP address, or firmware. You can click on the device thumbnail to change the thumbnail shown for the doorbell throughout the app. The default auto snapshot will take a snapshot of the live view from time to time. Snapshot lets you take a picture with your phone, and the My Album option lets you select a photo already on your phone. From the device information page, you can change the name of your doorbell, change the doorbell password, and initiate a firmware update. Moving back to device information, the next setting is Amcrest chimes. Clicking on the only option here lets you set if your doorbell chime is mechanical, digital, or if you don't want it to ring at all. For my setup with a second doorbell and using a different chime kit, I did have to change this to digital chime even though it's a mechanical door chime. I do have a case open currently with support on this issue. The next setting is motion detection. You can turn motion detection off with the toggle at the top if you desire. You can also set a motion schedule. This allows for you to set when motion detection should trigger. Motion range allows for you to set how sensitive motion detection will function. As stated in the app, weather conditions and temperature can impact accuracy. The last motion setting is detection zones. This allows for you to select specific portions of your video feed for motion detection. One thing that is a bit annoying is that you cannot deselect sections, only add them. If you make a mistake, you have to clear the whole zone and reselect. There is also only one zone supported at this time. The next setting is call notification. This is for being notified when someone pushes the doorbell. This can be turned on or off. Next up is storage status. Here you can access your cloud storage or see information about local storage if you have a micro SD card installed, such as how much storage has been used. You can also format the micro SD card here as well. The next setting is time zone. This just lets you set the time zone your doorbell is in. After that is share device. Here you can add up to 6 additional Amcrest accounts that have access to your device. An account that has shared access to the device will be able to see the name, serial number, thumbnail picture, and any cloud or microSD saved alerts, and will have full access to interact with the doorbell as well as through the doorbell. A shared user is not able to make any changes to the doorbell whatsoever. Firmware update will bring you to the same firmware page already covered. Wi-Fi settings let you change your current Wi-Fi password or change to a different wireless network. This is actually nice as you don't have to do a reset on the doorbell like you do for other doorbells just to change the SSID. Reboot will reboot the doorbell, which takes 3 to 5 minutes. The last setting under device information is doorbell tone and volume. Here you can change the doorbell chime volume. This is how loud the speaker plays the doorbell chime outside when someone rings the doorbell. You can even mute it if you'd like. You can change the speaker volume, which is how loud the audio from your mobile device will be outside. And finally, you can change the chime sound the doorbell makes when the button is pushed. The Amcrest Video Doorbell has 2 ways of storing alerts, cloud storage and local storage with a micro SD card. Each doorbell comes with a 1-year trial of 3-day event recording. This means that alerts will be saved for 3 days on the Amcrest cloud. This does have a 7-minute cooldown between recorded alerts, however. At the time of this recording, you can purchase the 3-day storage for $1.99 a month and can also purchase 7, 14, and 30-day plans. Only the 3-day plan has a recording cooldown. All of the others do not. To activate your trial, you do have to provide your credit card information and you will be automatically billed for the month-to-month plan when your trial expires. The second way to store alerts is with an onboard micro SD card. The Amcrest Video Doorbell is listed as supporting up to 120 gigs locally. The local viewer gives you a timeline that allows for you to see events that occurred and play them back. When the memory card is full, the oldest events will be overwritten. A few features I'd like to mention that I have not been able to test out is Amazon Assistant integration and Blue Iris support. With Amazon Assistant, you are able to display your Amcrest smart home cameras on any Amazon Assistant display. At the time of this recording, Google Assistant functionality is being worked on with no current ETA. The other big feature I like is Blue Iris support. This allows for the ability to set up Blue Iris to live view the Video Doorbell's camera feed. I have not had a chance to test it out yet, but I will include a link on how to set it up in the description below. Let's now take a look at a few different areas that I don't like and hope to see fixed either with software updates or in newer versions of this Video Doorbell. The included instructions and in-app instructions are not always that clear or in order. For example, when I was installing my doorbell, I wasn't aware that I would have to take the cover off to push the hotspot button. If I had known prior to installation, I wouldn't have had to pry it off with a screwdriver while it was attached to my house. Which brings me to my second complaint. Taking off the faceplate was actually pretty challenging. In a way, this is good, because it makes it more difficult for someone to steal your memory card, but there are better ways to prevent this. Instead, it would have been nice to see a 2-screw design. One screw holds the faceplate to the video doorbell, and another that holds the doorbell to the mounting bracket. This would allow for a more user-friendly experience when having to add or remove a micro SD card or set up the doorbell. This would also add more security to the doorbell as the micro SD card would be more protected, which is another issue I have with this doorbell. The lack of space for the doorbell wiring behind the doorbell was a bit of a hassle for me as well. My house did not have a cavity in it for extra wiring and there was very little space behind the doorbell. I'm not sure how well the wire nuts would have fit if they were needed. I understand that a slimmer doorbell is desired, so I'm not sure how well this one could be fixed. I'm also a little disappointed a wedge was not included. This would have helped with my night vision issue, as I have a wall of trees to one side that is very reflective of infrared light. It is my understanding Amcrest is working on one that will be available sometime soon, but I'm not sure if it will be included or not. Similar to my issue with the documentation, the upgrade process was a bit weird. It said it was upgraded, but the doorbell itself still had to go through a reboot, which took several minutes. I actually thought my doorbell bricked because it was not responding. I think the wording in the app should probably be fixed there. And finally, on my list of issues is with support. I did reach out to support with an issue I was having, which was getting my doorbell chime to ring, due to using a different second doorbell and that doorbell's chime kit. I personally felt that support was a bit slow to respond back to my emails. I did not try to call, so I'm not sure how that experience would have gone. The smart home line is a newer product line for Amcrest, so it's very likely their support staff is still being ramped up fully. I've dealt with the Amcrest support in the past, and they have always been really helpful, so I was a bit surprised. Overall, I like the Amcrest Video Doorbell, especially at its price point. The video quality is nice, and from what I was able to test with the night vision and motion detection at night, they do work very well. The metal backplate makes it feel really sturdy, and with 3 mounting points instead of 2, the doorbell feels really secure. And of course, having the ability to have upgraded local storage so you don't have to pay any subscription fee is a big plus. I'm pretty excited to see what else Amcrest releases in their smart home product line in the future. What are your thoughts on this new video doorbell? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up as it helps out the channel immensely. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications to be one of the first to know when I release any new tech content. Thank you for watching.